Hello, I'm Scotty McCoy, and I am the author of the Ultimate Friday the 13th Trivia book, and I'm writing another book titled The Ultimate Slasher Movie Encyclopedia, and I am interviewing the cast and crew of the of the Friday the 13th franchise, and I have with me who starred in Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives. She played Lizbeth, Nancy McLoughlin, and this is an impromptu interview. So this is my first one, so I'm very excited to do an impromptu interview with Nancy. How are you doing, Nancy?
I am doing great, Scotty, and I'm so grateful to be here with you.
I am so great that we can have this interview.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Definitely. So, what was it like starring in a Friday the 13th film?
Well, starring is a big word. I wouldn't use starring, but I was honored to be in it. And actually, at the time, it was just such a blast because we worked with so many friends and just going to Georgia and just exploring everything. And it was surprisingly amazing. And it's been surprisingly amazing ever since.
That's so awesome. So, what was your audition like for the film?
Well, that's hysterical. Because Tommy wrote the part for me. And at that time, well, always, I was never allowed to be Nancy McLoughlin. My name would be, we wouldn't say my name. Oh, Friday the 13th. Yeah, no, forget that. We just didn't say my name. So they never knew I was married to Tommy. And I'd go in and I have to read like everybody else. But the part was written for me, and it's how I speak and it's how I think. So it was kind of like a good thing.
That's awesome.
So it was an easy audition.
That is great, and I always wanted to be in a Friday the 13th film, and I will be honest, Part 6 is definitely I would say that is my favorite. And to be honest with you, your role in that film is probably the most iconic role for me because you have all the comedy roles, and you might not be in the film that much, and you might not be a main character in that film, but your roles and lines in the film itself are legendary that everybody just remembers Nancy's lines or Elizabeth's lines.
I love you. That's so funny.
What's the truth?
That really is. That touches me like you can't believe.
No problem.
Because honestly, I mean, it's so little, and I'm so honored people remember it. And honestly, because I'm that person who would.
You there? You there? You there? You there, Nancy?
I have no.
It's not a problem. I'm still recording it, so I can always edit that part out.
Perfect.
Not a problem.
I love editing. Editing is my favorite thing in the world.
I know. Okay, so where were we at? Let's see. The third question is, how was your death scene created, and what was it like filming your death scene?
Creepy. How was it created? Tommy's brain. I think he wanted to kill me, really, but I didn't know at that time. Just kidding. He just wanted it to be a really fun death scene.
Right.
And actually, it was a really scary death scene because being viced in mud underwater, your head.
Yeah.
So your body can't move. I mean, you can't move or breathe. With a regulator where the mud was going down my throat. Oof. And they thought it would work. But it was tremendously scary. I think, honestly, okay, let me think. I'm trying to go through it. I honestly think I had this truly most death-defying kill. I mean, where it actually could have killed me.
I can agree with that. That would be very gruesome. I mean, you see people like getting their head crushed, and you see like you see Sissy, Renee Jones end up getting her head twisted off, but like
Yeah.
that's all prosthetics and everything. You're literally like drenched in mud, and your face is in mud.
Yes. And my head was submerged and viced in mud.
Oh,
That's the scary part. And literally, I was so scared to ruin the take that I'd let the mud go down as long as I could until I was going to die, and then I'd raise my hand. And after 2 regulators, the producer came screaming in and said, "Just do it. Keep your head down. You're not getting arrested." He did.
wow,
And so I did it, and it worked.
that's insane.
I know. Thank you. Thank you for caring about me, Mr. Producer. I won't say his name. I won't say his name.
So, as spoken in the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, you were almost "quote unquote" killed in a in filming the scene where Jason drives the spear through a car windshield. How was the experience like when filming, and how did the scene go so awry to the point that you almost got "quote unquote" killed?
Because it was a very inexpensive glass that breaks. That's supposed to, faux break. They
Right.
used real glass. And I didn't know they were using a real spear as well.
Wow.
Well, it was breakaway glass, but it wasn't breakaway glass. So, and no one told me that it was a real spear. Because if you told me that, I'd be scared. I was told how easy this would be. All I have to do is when he does that, duck. And I did that, and it was a real spear. And I felt so bad for CJ because it slid on the glass, then broke through, and missed my head by literally an inch.
Wow.
Would have gone straight through my head.
Wow.
So that was
good.
1 take. We did that in 1.
Wow. That's insane. And I wouldn't even want to do it again, to be honest with you. So I'm glad that they used what they did.
Well, they had to because they didn't have any more glass. And
Oh.
2 actors that refused to. Jason, CJ, was so incredibly kind and thoughtful, and he was so worried about me. I mean, he was just wonderful. And so, yeah. And I think, Tommy was freaked. I mean, we were all freaked at how close it came.
Right.
It was scary, but I'm okay on that.
That's great. So, let's see, what else do we have for you? So, how was it like working on a film where, Tommy was your husband?
Yeah.
How was it like working with him as your boss, overseeing the production, and how was he as a director?
He's a brilliant director. Working with him is very easy for me. I work with him a lot. When we got married, we chose family first. So a lot of times I would take roles with him as opposed to other roles so that the family could stay together. So the kids we'd all be together. Right. So I've worked with him tons. And I have to say, it's very simple when you trust someone. And he is a visionary.
Right.
He's a great director. He has attention to minute detail, and he's got your back. When he says he has the take, he has the take. I might think I blew it 15 times, but he knows in another take I did it right. So if you can trust your director, and I do, it's really wonderful. Right. So I love working with people I can trust. I've had that opportunity like for 4 years on any day now. It was incredible. I had directors that had my back. Everybody filming, you have to have each other's back. You have to care. And you have to care about the other actor. You have to care about the production. You have to care about the PAs. You have to care about everybody. And then it becomes a family, and then you get a great movie.
I agree. I completely agree. It's always teamwork. Like it's even like at my job, I'm a software database engineer at Computer Software Incorporated at full time, and it's at the point that if you're stuck, you have to trust your coworkers to help you out, and so you can fix it for the client. It's a team effort.
It totally is, and I admire you so much. I respect that you understand that.
Thank you.
Because it's tough.
It is, and I mean, I get along with everybody at work mainly because we all have like the same personality type. We all have that joking sense of humor. So it really works out like where we all get along. And I haven't been there that long. I've been there like 6 months now, and it was because of my best friend got me the job. Like he got me the interview. Connections who. And right when I started there, it was like we immediately clicked. They immediately accepted me as part of the company.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That really is. Have you
definitely.
ever heard of the Gallup poll strength finders? You know what
This
the Gallup poll is? Usually around election times, people call for Gallup poll to see where the polling is or
yes,
what. Okay, so the Gallup poll's been around forever, and they came up with the strength finders.
right,
And there's a top 34 strengths, but you only need your top five.
right,
The top five strengths are who you are. And the whole concept behind it is for what exactly you just said.
right.
You hire people to fill in each other's gaps. So you don't hire someone you would hire someone like I do a lot of things well, but there's a lot of things I don't do well.
Right.
So I'm not very good with the computer, actually. So I shouldn't spend my time on my weaknesses.
Right.
I should shine my strengths.
Yep.
If you ever get a chance, I would do that just with a group of friends. It's fun with friends. It's fun with work. It's fun if you're going to date somebody. I think it's really good to know people's how well or what are the things that makes us work well together and how to deal with that. It's a wonderful concept.
That's
So,
interesting.
Yahoo! Strength finders.
Definitely. So
guess what my top strength is?
What?
Positivity.
I can tell.
All my strengths are about people, adaptation, about creativity, about connectedness, about caring about people. My 5 top strengths are so ridiculously people-oriented,
Right.
and it's true. That's who I am.
That's great. I can tell, and that's a really good strength to have because not a lot of people are people person. People. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that. But
Okay.
I really do get along with most people. I like people.
So, how did you get your start into acting?
This is going to crack you up. My father, actually, excuse me, I'm having my lunch too.
No problem. This is an impromptu interview. Everything it's basically a no holds barred at this point.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Eating quickly. My father was a comedy writer for Dick Van Dyke, Red Skelton, all early TV.
Right.
And you're not going to believe this. In 1964, my father worked on the Ed Sullivan Show as well, and he would take us for interesting people. But I was like 2, and my sisters are all older than me. So guess who saw the Beatles? No, I was 3. I was 3, and I saw the Beatles, and I recall feeling there was because that's when you start feeling. I recall the comedy act right before the Beatles.
Right.
Mitzi and her husband, and I had seen them before. Everybody kept screaming, "Boo, the Beatles!" And my heart just broke because I had no idea what the Beatles were. All I knew was these people were trying so hard. These people are booing them. And then I saw the Beatles, and my sisters were all jumping, screaming, crying. So I started jumping, screaming, crying, and I pretended like I passed out. This little stinking 3-year-old's pretending she's passed out. But I wasn't. And I got to meet the Beatles. Okay,
That's awesome.
So my dad was always in the business, and so I was always around producers, and they always tried to get me to work. And I always, from 3 years old on, I wanted to be an actress.
That is awesome.
And I started, my first real paying job was Days of Our Lives, and I did that for about 4 years.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
I love Days of Our Lives. I still watch it to this day. Actually, I usually because I'm at work, 9 hours a day, so I don't watch it during the day. And I don't have a DVR at my apartment, so when I come home to my parents' place on the weekend, I watch 5 episodes, like all 5 episodes the whole week on Friday night. So,
I love that.
Who'd you play on Days?
That was my first paying gig, but then, and then like right after that, I got some music videos,
Right.
and I was on as a dancer. This is, like I was trying to act, but I was a dancer. So my first movie was One from the Heart with Francis Ford Coppola.
Nice.
And that was hysterical because, I shouldn't say that. It was a great movie, I'm sure. But there was a scene, a Las Vegas scene.
Yeah.
The whole studios were decked out with like you were in Las Vegas. Right. And they were serving everybody alcohol because they wanted it to be like real and people to be drunk.
Yeah.
and I was sort of against that kind of thing because like I have to dance, I can't dance, and yes, I didn't like that, so I didn't. And so they start the shot, and I didn't realize Francis Ford Coppola, fine, amazing director, he was right next to me or something, and he was in the shot, and he didn't want to be seen, so he grabbed me and pulled me in a car and kissed me.
Wow. Oh my God.
I know, kind of cool.
So, question before we continue the interview: who did you play on Days?
Nobody. It was a silly. Kathy was her name. She was in Shenanigans. I mean, I don't even know if they have Shenanigans. I'm sure they don't.
Not anymore, no.
That was just one. I wasn't main lead.
Okay.
I was 3 days a week. It was just it was like friend's friend.
Okay.
So it wasn't big, but it paid my bills.
That's true. Do you still watch Days?
Well, my dad eventually worked on it.
Okay.
Shockingly. And yes, and quite honestly, this is going to crack you up. You know Susan Hayes and her husband?
Yes, Bill Hayes.
Yes, I go to Bible study with them.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
That is awesome. Are they really nice people?
They're wonderful, and they have something to do with the choir. It's a very small Bible study, and it's about learning about the social times of the Bible and about the words. It's a very unique, different kind of Bible study. But anyway, yeah, I love the way she thinks. She's amazing.
Can you do me a favor?
With my dad.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Would I be able to maybe talk to her on the phone one day, even if you're with them?
Honestly, the Bible studies stop for the summer.
Okay.
It doesn't go back till September. So if she's there, I'd call you.
Awesome, that'd be great. I would love to talk to her. I mean, I really love Julie Williams on Days, and she cracks me up.
I have not, I really don't want to, I really should. I used to, but I really don't watch a lot of television right now. I'm so busy. So
I understand that.
And I don't mean it's like I'm so cool busy. I mean, I'm like gardening, cooking, yoga, and working, and writing.
Right, so much going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually going to be interviewing Carrie Noonan coming up. I know she said she's busy all this week and most of next week, but she said in 2 weeks she'll let me know her schedule.
I love her, and I have not spoken to her in a while.
I had her actually as a student at Champlain University or Champlain College.
You did not.
Yes, she taught my ethics class.
That is the coolest thing in the world.
I know. Once I see my teacher on my schedule as Carrie Noonan. This is like 2 years ago, but I seen it as Carrie Noonan. I'm like, wait a minute, this can't be Carrie Noonan from Friday the 13th Part 6.
You got that right away. You didn't think her name was just Carrie Noonan.
No, I study Friday the 13th. Like the back of my hand. That's why I'm writing an encyclopedia on slasher movies. I can tell you now. I know like most of the cast on like almost all the Friday the 13th. Like most, like at least definitely the first 8. Like for example, I'll just go from here. I'll do Part 6. So we have Nancy McLoughlin as Lizbeth. We have Tony Goldwyn as Darren. We have Renee Jones as Sissy Baker. Carrie Noonan as Paula. We have Darcy DeMoss as Nikki. Tom Fridley as Court. We have David Kagan as Sheriff Mike Garris. Jennifer Cook as Megan Garris. We have Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. We have I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's Vinny Guastafaro, I want to say. Yeah. He played Deputy Rick Cologne. And we have Michael Swan as Officer Papaz. I think that's how it's pronounced. Mike Nomad as Officer Thornton.
Yep.
I don't know if I missed anybody, but C.J. Graham as Jason Voorhees, and then there was Ann Ryerson as Katie.
Whitney Rydbeck.
Whitney Rydbeck played Roy.
Yep.
I know Alan Blumenfield was there. I don't know if he played Stan or I think he was Stan. And then and then, yep, and then I think it's is Alan Faison. He played Larry, I believe.
Oh.
And then Alan Blum. There's another one that played Bert. I can't remember who he is off the top of my head. How'd I do?
It's amazing. But I do have to say, it's not Mike Garris. It's Mick Garris, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because Mick Garris is a real friend of Tommy's.
Oh, really?
And he's a director.
Oh.
He's just a great guy. But interestingly, have you ever seen the movie Unbroken?
Unbroken. No.
It was about the war hero a couple of years ago, who Leo. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his last name. Anyway, Mick Garris is married to Cynthia Garris,
Okay.
whose father was the hero of Unbroken. Whose
Wow.
father grew 2 years in camps and was in the ocean for 60 days with
Wow.
sharks all around. And this story is unbelievable. Look up the movie.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the lineage, is that Mick Garris, dear friends Tommy, so that's why the names were important. And Vinnie Guastafaro, not Stephen Banks, who played the part? Cindy Guastafaro.
Yes, Cindy Cania was her name in the credits. She played Annette, and Roger Rose played Steven, and don't forget about what the hell's his name? Ron Palillo. He played Alan Hawes.
He was good. He was so good.
Was he really?
Okay. What's interesting though is Steven and Annette, Cindy Cania and Roger Rose, whom I don't really know, but Cindy Cania is like one of my best friends. Vinnie Guastafaro is still one of my best friends. So they played our two best friends, Annette and Stephen Banks.
Nice.
So all the names come together.
That is hilarious.
And
so
little Nancy in the
yes, Courtney Vickery.
Yes, that was me. He named her Nancy and praying because it was me.
I heard of that actually. I actually heard that somewhere.
Isn't that funny though?
That is hilarious. What is she doing now?
Huh?
What is she doing now?
I have no idea.
Okay. And I misses Cindy and also Vinny.
What are Cindy and Vinny?
No, I messaged them recently. Vinny, he's been giving me the runaround, but I know he's been having something going on, I think, with his son or medical problems.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know if it's. I don't know. I know his son was in the hospital. He said, but I know he said he's like there's medical things going on personally. So he
How
like.
Recently?
Huh?
How recently?
I messaged him last. Oh, we're supposed to have an interview like last month, and he had to cancel.
Okay, I'm calling. I've not called him in a while.
Yeah.
And you know why in a while?
Why?
For what that's before.
Okay.
That's why.
So if you can ask him and Cindy both if they are willing to do an interview with me, that'll be awesome.
I totally will.
Awesome, thank you.
They said they would do. Remember, I did that bucket challenge.
Yes.
The Doubtfire challenge.
Yes.
All those people were supposed to be in it with me.
Really?
And we can edit this, please.
I will.
And they all bailed.
No problem.
That's why I had to do it myself.
I did the Doubtfire challenge too. Greg Gilbert asked me when he interviewed me.
Would you please send it to me? I'd love to see it.
Definitely. It's on his YouTube page, and I think it's also on my Facebook fan page. I'll send you the link after the interview.
Please do.
Not a problem.
I'd love to see it.
Not a problem. So the next question I have for you is, what was your most memorable experience filming Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives?
Filming or about the movie?
Both. Let's do both.
Okay, filming would be... Let me have a sip of water, please. Filming would be my head being viced under the mud with the regulator, the mud going down, and I heard them call lunch. And for a second, I felt like I was going to die. What if they forget me? What if I got claustrophobic to the it was the most claustrophobic thing in the world, but then you hear them call lunch, and you're still viced under the thing. That is the most memorable moment.
Wow.
The other one was, I don't recall it being I know how scary it was, but my heart can go back to feeling that feeling of being viced under and them calling lunch in a second, thinking, I'm going to die in a Friday the 13th movie. And that happened to me, too, in a Rod Stewart video. This was ridiculous. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. I did a Rod Stewart video, and it was... And what's weird is I can never remember the name. And when I was in London this summer, I saw a documentary on Rod Stewart, and they played the video. I went, here it is! Here it is! but I'll try to think of the name. But it was a kind of odd experience. But so we were doing the master, the first shot,
Okay.
and I was supposed to be the perfect, pristine Victorian girl. There's so many girls that are after him, and they have girls in the windows, and they have girls here and everywhere. But I was like the good girl or something.
Right.
So it took about 3 hours to do my hair. I had this lacy dress. I had all this stuff. And we start with the master, and the guitar player runs over, picks me up, and jumps in the pool with me with his guitar. And as we jump in the pool, and I see his guitar, first off, I'm in like, how many seconds does that take? 3? I have my whole life flash in front of me. I'm going, this is the sickest. I hate you. I can't believe I'm going to die in a Rod Stewart video. I thought I was going to die. And I was so mad because I never got any footage. Like, all you see of me in this video is me diving in the pool and playing. I never got the turnaround on me because he was singing to me. I never got any of that because nobody wanted to do 3 hours more of it. So they changed out girls because of that. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die because of this idiot. His guitar was playing.
Wow. Oh my God.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
So, can you give the reader some insight on what it was like working with the following actors? So we have Tom Matthews, Carrie Noonan, Renee Jones, Jennifer Cook, Tom Fridley, Darcy DeMoss, and David Kagan. So I guess we could go one at a time. So what about Tom Matthews?
I love him. On the set, even though I don't see him so much, my heart is for Tom Matthews. I mean, I love him. He's grown into an amazing man. On the set, he was very, very busy.
Right.
So there were all of us, all the actors, because even if I wasn't working, it was all-nighters.
Right.
I'd come and hang out with them. So we'd be on that beach, and we'd have a big fire in between whoever was working. And we'd sit, and we'd just play games, and we would play, like, Truth or Dare, or, any inappropriate game. And I got away with never having to play because I was the director's wife.
Right.
So I got to eat so much junk. It was so much fun. And I didn't have to do anything.
Nice.
I didn't have to reveal my secrets because they respected me.
Nice. So what about Carrie Noonan?
Same thing. I love her guts. And we became friends until she moved. And she married, from Gaelic Storm, Steve.
Yep.
And they played at our St. Patrick's Day parties a couple of times. And until they moved, we saw each other. I just really respect her. And she was so much fun. And even at that time, I didn't see her staying in acting. I saw her, as a professor, because she was just so learned. I just couldn't. I just saw where she was going to go, and she did.
Right. So what about Renee Jones?
Renee, same thing. We just played. We didn't keep in touch because we just kept moving. When you go from thing to thing, you want to be close, but it doesn't always happen unless you work with them again.
Right, and I would love to interview her, not only because she was in Friday the 13th, but she's Dr. Lexi Carver from Days of Our Lives. I mean, come on. So what about... Huh?
Is she still?
No, she's not. She died, she had like an inoperable brain tumor, and she died in Abe's arms back, I think it was like in 2008 or something.
Well, you know what? She could come back.
She still could.
As a daughter.
That's true. That is very true. Because I asked my dad, because my dad last September was diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor, glioblastoma. And they had to do Huh?
I'm so sorry.
Thanks. This is last September, and he ended up having to get emergency brain surgery. The doctors gave him a month to live. And here, 2 days after the surgery, they removed 99% of the tumor, and then he had a stroke 2 days later, and they said the stroke was going to kill him. He wasn't going to survive the stroke. They said if he does survive it, he won't even be able to drive again. He won't be able to really walk. He won't be able to talk as much and whatnot. Almost a year later, he's cancer free. He is driving. He's walking. He's talking. He drove 2 hours to come see me on highways.
Oh my God.
He's cancer free. Like, he's getting his memory back. He's telling time now. He's walking. He's doing everything. He's cooking.
All I'm saying is praise God. I'm saying those are miracles.
Exactly. That's exactly my parents said. I'm actually writing an autobiography on it, and it's called Christ Beat Cancer.
Amen. Amen.
Yep. Definitely.
He's a
Definitely.
healer. He's a healer. He really is. I mean,
Absolutely.
I just praise God. Praise God. I'll be honored to read it.
I can't wait, and it's pretty much done. I'm just waiting for my uncle to read over it to see if I need to add anything. He did tell me I have to add more about what the cancer type is. Plus, the neurosurgeon that did the surgery on my dad, he's gonna write the
Yeah.
forward to the book.
Oh, I love that.
I know that is great. He was like more than happy to do it.
Of course he was. I
Right.
mean, imagine being a part of such a miracle.
Exactly.
I
So
mean, being a conduit of God's word. That just blows me away.
I
Please send
definitely,
the father and your mother my blessings.
I definitely will. They should be home actually in a not that within the hour, I would say. So what about Jennifer Cook? How was she?
Lovely, wonderful, and I never saw her again. She was one that I just more to herself.
Really?
She was fun. She was great on the set. There was nothing, just a lot of fun. But she had a lot of work, and so she was more to herself, I'd say. And she had a
Okay.
boyfriend at home.
Okay.
But she wasn't part of any of those games either.
Oh. Yeah.
When you have a boyfriend at home, you sort of don't hang out. And when I was there so much because of Tommy,
Right.
so I was with everybody.
Right.
Not everybody was with everybody all the time,
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I know Jennifer was in the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, and I don't know how they reached out to her. I would love to reach out to her. I would love to interview her, but I'm having trouble even locating her.
I think Greg located her.
Who did?
Greg Gilbert?
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh, I'm gonna ask him about that. I didn't really ask him about her yet, so I'm gonna ask him and see what he says. That'd be
I'm
great.
pretty sure. I try with my ungifted hands to figure out.
So.
It's not one of my giftings. It's not one of my giftings.
All right. So what about Tom Fridley?
He was hysterical. He was as funny. Tom Fridley was that character.
Was he really?
And he still is. He still is. Every time he's supposed to show up at something, he's on his way. He'll be there in 5 minutes. I mean, it's hysterical. And he just never gets there. I mean, literally. I don't think I've seen him in forever. And he's always showing up at a different book signing or this or
Right.
whatever. And I never really quite see him.
Oh. So how's Darcy DeMoss?
She's lovely, and I'm going to try to have lunch with her next week.
Awesome. I actually sent her a list of my questions, so if you can ask her if she looked at them at all, because apparently she can't do a phone interview. I'm guessing unless you can nudge her into one. But other than that, I gave her a list of the questions for her to fill out.
She's so open. Won't she do a phone interview?
I don't know. She just told me to send her a list of the questions and she would get back to me. So I'm guessing she was gonna. From what I thought, she was going to type them up and send them back to me.
Wow.
But
interesting. She's very, very open.
So maybe you can let her know. Maybe you can let her know how professional.
No, I won't do it. Quite honestly, I've not seen her in a very long time. I want to see her, so it's not like I have a date with her.
Right.
I'm going to call her and I'm going to try to get to with her. And of course, I'll.
Awesome, thank you. And last, no,
don't worry.
What'd you say?
Anybody that I do know, I'll bring it up.
Sounds good, thank you.
Sure.
And last one I have is David Kagan.
He was hysterical. He is the actor. And he's an acting teacher now, and an actor as well. Don't get me wrong. And so is Vinny. Vinny has a wonderful acting class as well.
Nice.
That's doing really well. And I'm sure David says as well. I just don't know it. Never saw him after the movie, but he was just quite funny on the movie. He was just like such an actor. And I think it was sort of like, I don't know. He's quite the actor.
Right. So, in the scene where you are throwing out some comedy lines about Jason, were they in the script or did you improvise your lines?
There was a wee bit of improvisation, but I believe, I don't recall what was. I know most of them were scripted, but there were so things I would say that you don't know. But the whole in the mud puddle was improvised because I couldn't get my card out. I was in my heart. I was screaming, "Cut the tape!" cut the tape. And Tommy wouldn't cut it because he liked me squirming in the mud.
Right.
And that's the tape he used. Cut he used, of course. And that was all improvised. Wait, come on, wait. It was all improvised. I'm begging Tommy to cut the tape, but he didn't.
That's pretty funny because I mean I think the best type of clips to use are the one, especially in those type of scenes, are the ones where you're looking like you're terrified, you're squirming to get the money out and the credit card out.
I'm terrified that he won't cut the scene, and I'll do it wrong. That's what I was terrified about. It worked.
It did.
It is true that it was the funniest thing, and got it. I went, no, honey, I need to do that again. Correctly. No, that was great. That was really good. I was frustrated. Sometimes I get frustrated because I don't think I did it right, but he sees it and knows, and that's when you trust.
Right. So, in the scene, wrong one. How was it like working with CJ Graham? And did you ever have any experiences with CJ outside of filming where he was just as Jason? And if so, what was that experience like?
I don't think so. That I've had lots of Jasons around me that look like CJ, size-wise and everything, but I don't think he's ever been just like Jason around me.
Okay.
In the movie, he is, he was a Marine, so, and this was his first movie, and I think his only. Was it his only?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, he didn't like it. But he was the most polite, incredible gentleman in the world. Because he really was concerned about me. And really concerned, like, if he had to go near me or something, are you okay? Is this okay? I mean, I can't give a higher, Tony Goldwyn as well. Tony Goldwyn it was his first movie as well. And he was amazing, too, a gentleman. And we had so much fun because he had just gotten married.
Right.
So when I hear him talk about his marriage and his kids, it just warms my heart because he had just, like, a couple of months earlier, we had just, a bit ago, got it. So it was kind of cozy.
Right. Okay, I'm going to stop the interview right there for a second. I have to plug my phone in. My phone's at 5%. Almost done, though. Then we can talk a little after if you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go do something.
That's fine. I mean, I just got home from a long drive, so I'm ready to relax, too.
Oh, no, I'm going to work. I'm trying to dress for my character.
Nice. Yeah. Right, yeah, definitely send me the... one sec. I have to turn the volume back up on my phone. Okay. Alright, so let's see. I'm almost done.
Sure.
All of your scenes were filmed with Tony Goldwyn, so how was it like working with him?
Amazing. He was lovely. He had just gotten married, so a lot of our conversations were about his wedding. He didn't really go too much ever into his family, which to me, I don't know why I wasn't nosier. That's where I should have had a question, but I didn't. And just like he is an amazing man, an amazing actor. He's proven himself time and time again. Right. And I was his first girlfriend on film, so I'm kind of proud of myself.
Let me see. Okay, so
Although he didn't choose me. He didn't choose me to be his girlfriend.
That is true. So, what was the best part of filming Friday the 13th Part 6 Jason Lives, and what was the worst part of filming it?
The best part was the family aspect. The fun we had outside. Because we were on a night schedule 90% of the time.
Right.
And we're in the, recesses of Georgia where there's nobody. Right. And so we go, on our day off, we'd go bowling all night. And just the people we'd meet, and it was, I just built a life there in the amount of time it took to film, and I don't know how long that was, but I was into macrobiotic diet, and there was one little store that was cafe that had that, so I got to know them really well. Right. Just Easter was around that time, so I got to play Easter Bunny to all the actors, and I mean, just we played. It was I've been on a lot of them, praise God, but it was really a playful, fun set.
Right.
And it continued after the Grips, everybody. We were all together. Like the girls went somewhere, there was always Grips, gaffers, and electricians behind them to make sure nothing happened.
That's good though, because safety is always important on the set. I don't know if you just seen recently. I don't. TMZ posted an article about the stuntman that was part of The Walking Dead, and
Oh my God.
and he ended up doing a stunt for one of the main characters, and he was supposed to fall like 22 feet, and on like he would end up landing on this like I guess mat or whatever, this really like this inflatable air cushion or whatever, and he ended up missing
Yeah.
it by 2 inches, and he ended up breaking his neck, and he died.
My God, I hear too many of those stories. Really, I do. And
Yeah.
it really annoys me. It frustrates. Oh, gosh. What I'm doing right now are people that are trying to bring sanity back to Hollywood.
Yep.
And really changing the topography of the way Hollywood works and taking care of the everyman like that. Yep. PAs work 22 hours, and they're the first on the set, the last on the set, and they're treated poorly. Yep. Mostly, not always, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And they get paid nothing, and that bothers me. I think the hours should be cut, and people's wages, the high people their wages should be cut. Yeah. Just so that you can work more sane, healthy hours. Because if you don't, that's when kids get in accidents. Yep. That's when, yes, I was honored that the Grips cared that much about us. And people cared so much that if we went somewhere, they wanted to make sure we were okay.
Right. I agree.
I love that set. I love that family. And I'd love to re-meet the Grips and stuff now. It would be very fun.
Right. So what was the worst part of filming it?
Huh?
What was the worst part of filming Friday the 13th?
I can't think of anything.
What about the mud scene?
The worst. Okay, the mud scene was at least heated. Okay? So I had a heated mud puddle, and you do know it was 32 degrees, and with the wind chill factor, 18 degrees. Wow. You are aware of that. Okay. So it was freezing. That was awful. The worst part, and I don't know if I've ever shared this. Did I ever share the showers before?
No.
Okay, I had to take a shower, obviously, before lunch, and we were at a camp, and it was a girls' camp that had, I don't know, it could have been guys' camp, I don't know. But you know how you have that stall shower, and it's all tile?
Yeah.
And it's 18 degrees, and they don't heat the water?
Yeah.
So to take that shower, to wash up for lunch, to know I have to go back in the puddle right after lunch. How freezing cold that is embedded in my brain.
That is crazy.
And literally, I didn't get the mud out of my ears for like weeks. That's how bad it felt. The Georgia clay mud just seeps into every orifice of your body. 3 weeks later, I still had it.
That is insane.
So that would be the worst because it was so cold and awful. But everybody's so nice about it. You know what I mean? Right. There's a common picture for me from that film is that night of shooting. Tommy has like an Indiana Jones hat on, and I'm wrapped up I look like a deer with doe eyes, just staring up at him like, right. Are you crazy? Like looking out at the crew or something. It's just funny. The visionary and the doe. I don't know what I call it, but it is my picture of us from that movie.
Wow. So 2 more questions for you. This one is so it is definitely every fan's dream. I know it's mine to star in a Friday the 13th film, and especially to become a victim of Jason. I don't want to survive. I want to die by Jason. I'm going to throw that out there.
Good.
So what are your thoughts and reactions? Huh?
I'm going to get you that part.
Sounds great. So what are your thoughts and reactions of being in a Friday the 13th film, and more specifically, being a victim of Jason himself?
Honestly, at the time, I had no clue, of course, at all. So if there was nothing, it was only cozy and wonderful. So I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't have a clue for many years because I just, raising my kids and just doing stuff. I wasn't paying attention. And Tommy always did all the business end of that stuff. Right. So I wasn't aware that people really cared until I don't know how many years ago, but Crystal Lake. That's when I started realizing, oh my gosh, this is really something special.
Right.
So kind of really, really honored. And honestly, my death scene, I think it's brilliant. I am so thrilled. But like, I don't think about it. But when you ask me that question, it's really cool. It's really cool. But I never think about it like that. I just think, what a great experience and how wonderful the people were.
Right. So the last question I have, and I'm gonna ask you this question before I ask the actual question. Are you ready to love me?
I love you. Yes, I'm ready to love you.
So, how about you tell us a little bit about this web series?
You're not going to believe it. It's the best thing. Well, first off, it's under, and everybody in the world should check it out. And you have his book.
Okay.
Charlie Hong.
Yep.
Greenhouse Arts and Media. The concept behind it is to live in Hollywood as an artist, or anywhere in the world, but any kind of artist, there's a unique quality to art, to the artistic part of our being. And it makes us more quirky depending on how creative we are.
Right.
So a lot of times we feel like odd, and I know I have felt so unique. I feel like a little unicorn 90% of the time. But if you find your identity, and it is a Christ thing, because Christ made us creative beings in His image, so we're supposed to be unique. And realizing that is what He's bringing together is a company of people that want to serve their talent, not to serve their success. Because success will come or not come, but being fruitful and using your talents to help other people is what it's about. So I started getting involved with them, and I'm now writing, and I just won Best Actress Award from that I believe will become very large, called The Clappy, from Creative Arts, and I was blown away. I was blown away by the kindness of these people. Through them, a group, he wrote a web series, and it's called, what is it called? I know what it's called. Jack Marshall Can't Do That. It is by far the funniest script I've ever read. There's going to be 40 episodes shooting. So I play. Have you ever heard of Auntie May, that movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I play Auntie May.
Nice.
And my first scene, it's a video of me being dead, willing to escape, and what he has to do for it.
Right.
Funniest, wittiest, best actors. I am so happy. We've done it for 2 years, and we're going to shoot 40 episodes. I believe it airs October 2nd. And Jack Marshall Can't Do That. People are going to be blown away. And the actors that they've got are amazing. And I get to be so eccentric.
That is awesome, and we know that is awesome for you. It's like a natural role for you, because I always told Greg, like I said, that I love Nancy. I love seeing her post. I can't wait to talk to her because she's very spunky. She loves people. I could just tell that she's the kindest woman that you could probably ever meet.
I love you. I don't even post much. I think nobody sees them. I always forget to go to my Facebook. Once in a while, I'll respond. I don't even know sometimes who I'm responding to.
Well, the best part was that Greg, and I thank him so much because he's gave me so many connections. He mentioned you to me, and then he gave you my number. You tried calling me, and I was in bed because it was late at night here. And I missed your call. I'm like, oh my god, I missed Nancy. And then you end up messaging me. We ended up talking a couple weeks ago, and you end up sending me the book, and I cannot wait to read it. I read bits and pieces of it. I haven't really dived into it, and I cannot wait to read it. And I'm so grateful that I got to talk to you, and I'm so grateful that I got to interview you. I mean, this was literally an impromptu interview. I literally just got home from a 2-hour drive from work to my parents' place. I just literally pulled in once you messaged me, and I wrote back to you, and I'm unpacking my stuff while you're writing to me, and you're like, call me now.
As soon as I saw your name, a message of the guilt went through me so bad that I blew it the last interview. That I just went, oh my god, I've got to talk to him now. make dates. We've just got to do it. It's got to be done now because I'm
Right.
here now.
And
I know.
the thing a lot of people don't understand about these interviews is that there's a lot of prep work. A lot of people even at my job don't understand that there's so much prep work. I have to write the questions up, think of the questions, and then write them up, and then I have to like check the microphone. Like for this interview was so impromptu. I didn't have my paper with me that I had printed out. I had look, thankfully my questions were on my laptop saved. And then on top of that, I didn't even get to check the mic, so hopefully I'm sure the interview is recording perfectly because I could see the bars moving. So, but I mean, I didn't even get to do any mic check. I didn't do it. It was like all sudden.
If it isn't, we do a complete redo, and it will be perfect. And
Sounds
I
good.
do know the hard work it takes to go into this. I really do.
Yep.
As I told you, my dad also did sound effects, and he also wrote books, and he also the amount of work goes and a comedy writer. I'm going into anything you do. You
Yep.
think it's nothing, but then
Right.
you try it for a day.
Right.
It's people think acting is easy.
Right.
It isn't. Hitting your mark is
Yep.
difficult.
Exactly. And my one coworker told me, he's like, but all you have to do is just write up a couple questions and ask them it. You know the movies well. I'm
No.
like, yeah, but I mean, I don't want to ask them lame ass questions. I want to think of questions that are gonna benefit the readers, who's gonna want to buy my book. Who the questions I want the questions I ask. I ask some that you might have been asked already, but I like to find questions that are unique that I'm thinking of, so the readers that buy my book are gonna learn something new, not hear repeats that they hear in documentary over documentary.
Agreed. I fully agree. And I think you asked some very good questions.
Thank you very
And
much.
I said more than I should, probably, because I always do. And I'm grateful, Scotty, and I look forward to meeting you.
Thank you. I really want to meet you someday, so I really look forward to that when that time comes.
It will. It will.
Definitely.
Because you'll have to do a book signing in California, I'm sure.
Yes, I have to. Especially once my encyclopedia comes out, I think a book signing on the Ultimate Slasher Movie Encyclopedia will be an amazing book signing to have.
Oh, and there's a couple of places you should have it. Well, first off, you should have it at Universal Studios. I don't know why they had that's where Crystal Lakes one was, and it was like all lit up. It's just a great place.
That's cool.
Or there's little bookstores like Dark Delicacy. That a lot of book signings are there. That would be a cool place to do. We'll get you book signings. You just get the book.
That sounds good. Once the book comes out, you can get me a book sign. Set me up with a book signing. I'll be more than happy to come out there.
Done. I will get that. I don't know how, but I will. Those things I can do.
Sounds great.
Just not good with the computer.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the readers, or the listeners, I should say, at this point, because I'm going to be posting about a 5 to 6 minute sneak peek on my fan page. Just so you know, if you want to hear the full interview, I'm going to put this part, the ending, right now in the sneak peek. If you want to hear the full interview, you can read it in my Ultimate Slasher Movie Encyclopedia. You can like my fan page at www.facebook.com/smccoyauthor, and you will be able to keep updated on where I'm at with the book. This interview is going on an hour, and I'm going to limit it down to 5 minutes, which is going to be very hard because you gave me a lot of good material.
Oh, I love you so much.
I love you too, Nancy.
Thank you. I'm really grateful for people such as yourselves, and please send my prayers and my best regards to your parents, and I'll be praying, and I'm so grateful that worked out. And thank you, and please again, check out Greenhouse Arts and Media. It really is changing the topography of Hollywood to make it friendly and loving and a warm place to come, not a cold, disconnected place.
I definitely will check that out, and I will put that in my also I don't know if you have any say in this. Actually, I'm gonna stop the interview now quick though, but I want to ask you something off the record.